So we're going to go review the Woodford Model 67 automatic draining commercial wall hydrant. You can see here this cutaway here in front of you, and we're going to go over some of its unique design. So one of the first things about this particular product is we utilize a stainless steel stem that we mate to a brass yoke here, so that when you put the T key on and you start to operate it, it will move the plunger at a fixed distance. So if you watch this plunger here in the back, as it moves forward, it blocks the waterway and forces the water here, pressurizes the casting, goes out through the dual check backflow preventer and out the hose. And then when you close the hydrant and you run this thing down and the plunger seats, you'll see there's a small void here in the valve body. So the water is going to drain down this tube, around here, and then through the casting and out. So you don't need to worry about removing the hose because the water drains through the casting. Some of the other things that make the Model 67 unique is we use a solid brass operating rod, which is 3/8 diameter solid brass. You can see here it threads into the plunger body and to the yoke. So to rebuild it, all you do is remove this packing nut here, pull the whole assembly straight out, and you replace the stem and these two plastic parts, and you screw on the plunger. The plunger screws on the end of the rod, and that is the rebuild process for it. So it's a automatic draining. That's why it has the two pipe design. And the plunger, one of the things about it is if you need to modulate the flow and not have it fully on or off, when you put the T key on and you move it ever so slightly, you're going to get a trickle flow, and the flow is going to continue to increase as the plunger gets further and further away from the valve body. And what's nice about that is it allows you to keep the flow in a particular position. So as the plunger moves, there's no way for it to move elsewhere. So when you get the flow set the way you want it, you don't need a sprayer nozzle on the end of the hose to make the product function. It's really only available in two inlets, one of which is the solder. So basically you can solder this in, inside. And the other inlet to connect it is threaded. This is called a P, and the solder only is called a C. And that concludes a refresher of the Model 67.